All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another discussion on various topics. Um, so in this discussion, we're just gonna talk about basically whatever comes to mind. So there's no, and in this, yeah, in this talk, we're just we're just gonna go with the flow and see what comes up. So um, with my guest, um, we came up with a topic of discussing. We're basically going to discuss troll fighters in the martial arts community. So, so what do you think about troll fighters? You got any troll fighters in mind, or anybody in particular that you want to talk about, or just talk about troll fighters in general?
I think troll fighters in general. I mean, there are a lot of them. I think we talked about one that I forgot his name. Was it Charles or that boxer dude? I can't get his name. We got him.
Charlie Zelenoff, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, we got him. We got I don't know. There's a lot of them, but there's this one guy. I wouldn't call him a troll fighter, because he is a real fighter. But yeah, Xiaodong or something. I can't say his name. Um,
Yeah, you said it right, I think.
oh, okay, okay. But yeah, he's not a troll fighter. But what he does is, yeah, what he does is, he exploits fake martial artists. And he's been doing this for basically, I don't know if he still does it, but I think ever since he started with that Tai Chi master and being famous for winning the fight against the Tai Chi master, being tied to the Wing Chun master. There's um, a lot of beef with him with the community because the Chinese community they don't like him. They like see him as a threat to the Chinese martial arts community. But I understand his perspectives. So yeah, we could talk more about him and yeah, just troll fighters in a little sense too, because there are troll fighters out there that aren't as famous as Charlie Zedanoff or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a bunch of the troll fighters. They challenge real MMA fighters to actual fights, and the troll fighters ended up getting demolished. Like it was like I gotta show you some clips of it, like if I can find it. But yeah, they just the troll fighters they just got demolished, and it was just terrible. Like it
yeah,
was
yeah,
like
man.
they it.
I
Go
agree,
ahead.
dude. No, I agree, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, I feel uh like I said in my other video, I think that troll fighters should not. I feel like if you're an MMA fighter and you're famous or a famous martial artist or whatever, I feel like you should not you should not give recognition to troll fighters like whatsoever because they don't deserve the recognition. They don't deserve they don't they just don't they haven't earned their spot. Like they just claim that they're the best or whatever,
Hmm.
but they don't actually train like they say they do. So I feel like business wise, it's really just a good idea to stay away from it and promote
Yep.
guys you know who promote guys who actually need it. Like guys who actually like train hard and everything, and they're trying to make a name for themselves. But other than that, like I feel like troll fighters, like I mean, I feel like it. I feel like if uh if it was um like just or a regular fight that's not filmed, then I would feel like that's okay, like no problem.
Hmm.
But not like don't put it on the internet or anything like that, like
Yeah.
because because you give like you just give you basically giving the troll fighter or whatever, like you giving him uh pretty much you're giving him an opening to get into uh the the fighting business or something like that. So you
Uh-huh.
know, but about Xu Xiaodong, like I watched some. I'm mixed on him. I watched some of his fights. I watched a bunch of his fights, and you're right. Like I feel like a lot of a lot of Chinese people don't like him because I think it's because he doesn't really um he doesn't agree with their stance on traditional martial arts. Like he's against it, and
Uh-huh.
he's and they're all for it and stuff, and he also I think it's also because he exposed China for staging its fights. It was crazy. He said that he said he witnessed firsthand how they actually rigged the fights in China and explained in detail like why they do it and stuff like that. It was pretty interesting. Um, there's even one clip of I think of an MMA fighter sparring against Tai Chi. It was one of the I think it was one of the Tai Chi masters that fought Hu Xiaodong, and the Tai Chi master paid the MMA fighter to lose the sparring bout just so he could say that he was beating the MMA fighter and that Tai Chi really could stand up to MMA and stuff like that. So that's what triggered Hu Xiaodong. That's what got him riled up and got him like he really wanted to expose the Tai Chi master for that. And so I'm mixed on Hu Xiaodong because like I feel like it's good. I feel like he was on fire, like like he in the beginning, like he was like when he was calling out the traditional martial artists, like saying all your styles don't work and stuff like that. Like I mean that I feel like that was really interesting because that's rarely. I mean, I've really never really heard of anybody doing that in the martial arts community, and he went around like basically challenging each person of different styles, and so
Uh-huh.
and and if you saw the videos I sent you earlier, um, it was hilarious, like how the way he was acting and everything, and like of um. So there was this one guy so there was this one guy, this Tai Chi guy who
Uh-huh.
who I can't remember I don't remember much of the Tai Chi guy who got the first guy who got beat up, the first video that went viral. Like it was the guy who got knocked out in like 6 seconds. I forgot his name.
No,
But
I think it was the Tai Chi master because
yeah,
or no, it wasn't the Tai Chi master. Yeah, because the Tai Chi master was his first viral video until he fought the Wing Chun master. So.
yeah, it was that guy. I think before the fight though, he said that the Tai Chi master was pretty much posting fake footage of he was basically paying people to basically comply to his demos and stuff and and Xiu Xiadong was like, hold on a second, this is not right at all, and he got mad, so he decided to challenge him to a fight and everything, and that's how the whole ordeal went down, according to him, and oh, and if you saw that clip that yeah, that clip of Xu Xiaodong showing up to his house and everything and challenging him to a fight.
Oh, oh, yo, dang, that dude got balls to go to martial art and be like, hey, I'm gonna confront you up front and we're gonna have a fight, damn.
Oh my gosh, he said the stuff he said had me laughing though. Like he said that well first off Xu Xiaodong talked about how uh the guy the Tai Chi master challenged him to a kept challenging him to a fight online, and but then when it came down to it, then he just backed out. Like he said, Tai Chi master said, "Let's make this a private match" or something like that.
Make this private match, really?
Exactly. And then
Like, are you?
well, go ahead.
I feel like this is like I feel like this is like those kung fu movies where it's like, oh, I don't wanna fight in public. I want us to have a private match so that when one of us lose, no one knows about it. It's like that serious? Come on, man.
Yeah, and I feel like I feel like that's why Chinese people don't like him because he pretty much embarrasses them in public. Like if they lose, everyone's gonna know about it, and they're not gonna look good. And uh
Mhm,
and Chinese people like they take that very seriously. Like they take looking good very seriously. So of course,
mhm,
that's why they have those private matches. Like even back then in Bruce Lee's day, like um everybody was doing private matches because pretty much I feel like partially it's because no, they didn't want to look bad. Like if they lost, like they didn't want to look like amateurs and crap. So,
yep.
but come on, but how are you gonna say like how are you gonna say let's fight and be like let's post it online, but then when shows up to your house, then you just back out and it's I guess
Dang.
I guess he didn't expect that to happen. Like, so he didn't expect Shu to actually show up to his house and the crap and you know and actually challenge it. But and then he also said Shu said um he was trying to fight this Tai Chi master, and then when they agreed to the fight, then the Tai Chi guy called the cops on it.
Yeah, because like if you watch the video, it took Xu Xiaodong 8 seconds just to take him down, and the Tai Chi master didn't even stand a chance. He backed up, and then like Xu Xiaodong was just throwing punches at any way, and yet the Tai Chi master was just trying to deflect them. He was trying to use Xu Xiaodong's weight against him, but yet that backfired when the Tai Chi master fell on his back, and Xu Xiaodong had the upper hand and just started pounding him. And I feel like, yeah, that dude, he has no reason to call a cops because, first of all, you're the one who called the fight. Second of all, you asked to get your butt whooped. Third of all, you're fighting someone who basically is an MMA fighter. He uses every martial art. He's not married to one thing like Bruce Lee. He's like he has different martial arts in hand. He has his he has the Muay Thai. He does have Kung Fu, karate,
No,
and
yes.
mixed martial art is it's a mixture of everything. So basically the Tai Chi guy was just outclassed for a good amount of time, and that 8 seconds gave Shu Xiaodong fame for being the one person to called out, martial artists. And that's why a lot of the Chinese people don't, and it's the same as how Chinese people don't like Bruce Lee too, is because Bruce Lee took a lot of Chinese martial arts and other martial arts and combined them, which back then the kung fu community or the martial arts community, the Chinese people were like, no, that's blasphemy. You don't do something like that. You don't
Huh?
take a martial art that's already been cured and and turn it into something else. And the fact that Bruce Lee was teaching it to Westerners, that's like the same hatred to Shu Xiaodong, which in a literal sense, you can real like I kind of feel bad for the guy because all he's just trying to do is like, hey, like this is bad, He's basically doing like what Bruce Lee is doing, like, we don't need you know, this kind of BS around here. We need real self-defense. We need something that people can defend themselves with. So I understand from his standpoint, and I understand from the bystand or the other people, their standpoint.
Right, and I that's why I respect Xu Xiaodong because uh he's just not scared to fight. Like he said basically he said traditional martial arts don't work, and if you think otherwise, then let's fight. And and uh and if you saw my other video, I which illustrates your point, like there was a video of this traditional martial artist who showed up to his gym, and he was talking smack, like talking about how, oh, here's my, let's fight, this is my lineage, or these are all my lineages, these are all my masters, and talking about his qualifications, and then she was like, he said, I don't care about that, let's just fight. And then the guy still kept fighting. He still kept talking and talking junk, trying to scare him. But he was completely avoiding the challenge. Like he was just completely like just arguing back and forth and stuff, and it was just hilarious. Like, and then
Damn.
and Shu was like, he said you need to relax, have a seat, drink some tea.
Wow, that kind of insult too. Yeah, hey man, calm your crap down and just drink some tea. I would have been, if I was the dude insulted like that, I would have been like, "What you say? Tell me to drink tea? Who do I look like to you? A or a kung fu master?"
Because you know how that was a big insult. Because you know how traditional martial artists are all about talking about tea and how they're supposed to relax and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff,
Yeah.
all that. And then he said lower your voice. Um, we're in my we're in the gym, like we're in my gym.
That's funny. Like it's like, dude, calm down. It's like, dude, calm down. Like, we're in my gym, dude. You want to have some serious beef? You want to have some serious beef? Take it outside.
I think it was a diss on how it was dissing the traditional martial artists who, how they're all quiet inside their dojos and crap. They treat it like
Mm-hmm.
they
Yo.
treat it they treat it like it's a religious form of worship or something. So,
Mm-hmm. Yo.
oh man,
Yeah,
but
dude.
yeah, like yeah,
It,
go ahead.
yeah, like that's. I mean, I do feel Shu Xiadong, and I do have that respect for him. Like, yeah, like it is good because in the martial arts world, you don't want to see someone teaching false martial arts to some to another person because if that person has a mindset of, oh, this is what martial arts should be, then it's just kind of wrong, because what if a person uses those techniques and they don't work, then it's just, it's just, I wouldn't say it's the master's fault, even though I am saying it, but at the same time, it's like, that's just, yeah, I don't know, it's really complicated because of the fact that a lot of martial artists, and I'm not dissing martial artists in general, but I'm just saying that there are a lot of people who do false teachings, and yet, you know, it's just shocking to see false or fake teachers teaching the prophecy, So,
Right. And I feel like if you're gonna if you're gonna claim that your styles are effective for combat, then you need to back it up, and I feel like that's what
uh,
Xu Xiaodong does. That's what he's saying. Like if you at the same because and I feel like a lot of these traditional martial artists, like they're too it's like Bruce Lee said, like they're not honest with themselves. Like they like to put up uh a lot of Asian martial artists, they like to put on a show where they have these all these flashy, these flashy moves, flashy techniques and stuff, and
uh,
uh and but in reality they're not really practical for combat um because it's just for show. Like it's not really it's just not it's not practical. It's like it's not down to the point. Like it's not like boxing where you actually use what you learn and like you know and the techniques have been shown to be effective and stuff like that and at least in the sports context um I feel like a lot of it's pretty much a lot of the stuff that they show in martial arts is scripted and they just don't want to admit it. Like they claim that
uh,
they claim that it works for combat, but it's like how can we how can we never see um them actually use it in an unscripted, chaotic scenario?
uh,
That's what got me thinking. Like when I was still in traditional martial arts, I was like I actually I was like how come these guys uh never actually sparred with amateurs before? Like
yeah,
and it's like if it was really effective for the streets, then it shouldn't matter like who they spar with. They should spar with anybody really, and
uh,
but they don't. They only spar with people who are of the same style, of the same school. Um,
yep,
and that's how they script things. Like they make sure that only the people in their circle um get to spar with them, and everybody else is just like whatever happens outside of the school, nobody sees it. Like the school is not responsible
uh,
for it. No,
yep,
they don't want to take ownership of that, and so um, and I feel like that's what made that's the problem with these martial artists is that they want to take credit for when their style does good and everything,
uh,
but they don't want to take credit for when it fails. Like
yep,
like you see a lot of these YouTubers who they'll watch a Wing Chun versus MMA fight for example, or a Tai Chi versus boxing fight, and if the Tai Chi guy loses miserably, they'll be like, "That's not Tai Chi," or even though it clearly was Tai Chi,
Yeah.
or that's a fake Tai Chi master, even though you can clearly check out his credentials and see that it was a real Tai Chi master. and, and so yeah, I mean, I feel like I feel like uh if you actually believe that your style is gonna work, then at least like do an actual street scenario, like a real sparring scenario, like basically don't try to fake it and try to pretend like your style works when you really haven't tested it out, and and uh
Hmm.
and and it's if you, and I mean if you if you don't think it works for self defense or whatever, if you were to say, oh, you know what, I'm not actually teaching self defense, I'm just doing it for fun, then that would be like, okay, cool, but then I don't think anybody would have a problem with that. But
Hmm.
but yeah,
Yep.
that's why I got mad respect for
Hmm.
Xiaodong for doing that.
Yeah, and there's like a lot of things that he like that I see from Xiadong, because as of right now, like if he wants to like challenge someone or if he wants to fight, then he has to like, for what I heard, he has to like face paint himself to cover himself, and that's you know like since he's been having a lot of crap lately. He's banned. He's like put in the lower class. He's banned from flying like places, and like he can't really do anything now. And I just feel bad for the guy because all he's just doing is just he's basically putting martial artists like those who are doing false teachings in their place. It's not that it's not that you know that he's doing it just for fun. No, he's literally finding martial artists and be like, what you're doing is wrong. And if you're gonna teach people the right way, teach them at least teach them some authentic martial arts, and don't make it look like all fancy looking. No, if it's something that can be used for a self defense thing, then do it. But if it's not, don't go out there saying it works in a self defense, because everybody has different ways of attacking. The opponent is not gonna just throw a straight punch and let you take that. No, that person, the opponent may do that, but he's just gonna do that to like trick you. He's just gonna fake it, and after that, he's gonna throw like a hook or uppercut, and you're not gonna find, um, you know, you're not gonna find a way to think quickly, unless you have that quick thinking, and it's like, oh, he's gonna throw an uppercut or this. Okay, I'm gonna dodge it, and I'm gonna, attack him more with this. So that's why, um, Xu Xiaodong, like, yeah, I have respect for him too. Like, that's why he's out there doing all this stuff and really having that main saying that, hey, you're spreading false martial arts, so don't do that. Really have the courage to teach people different martial arts, and it's not his fault that he fought them. No, he was challenged. So there's no reason for him, or there's no reason for people to get mad at him just because he was challenged by the martial arts community. If he beats them up, that's it. People should understand that, instead of being jerks about it and just really like calling him out for that, because it like really it wasn't his fault. So mm, people shouldn't be mad at him for it.
right, right. And that video of him, like that video of him beating up that Wing Chun master, that was like, oh my gosh, like
Oh my gosh.
did he throw? I don't remember if he threw him into the pillar. Like, did he throw him into the pillar or something?
Yeah. I don't think he threw him, but then like he just he just pushed him into yeah, he just pushed him into like the back, and then that Wing Chun master fell, got up, tried to attack him again, and then Shu Xiaodong just went in and did stuff like that was it, like takedowns and all that stuff, and
Oh
that
man,
yeah, that was serious. Like Wing Chun, I think the first time that Wing Chun master tried to attack him, Shu Xiaodong just let him take like Shu Xiaodong took the hits. Yeah, Shu Xiaodong wasn't feeling any pain, so he like I think he like taunted him. Like you can see in the video, he's moving his head side by side. He's like, "You can't hit me. You can't hit me. What your punch is gonna do? It ain't gonna do nothing." Like yeah, like you could see that in the video. Like he's blocking, and then you can see he gets up for like 3 or 4 seconds, and he's moving his head side by side. Like, come on, take a free hit. You ain't gonna do nothing to me. And then once Xu Xiaolong had enough with his beating, Wing Chun beating, he straightly just went up and just attacked her. I'm just like, damn. And that got into people's opinion is like opinion of is Wing Chun useless, because they found out that that Wing Chun master who got demolished was one of the best Wing Chun masters too, and so like that happened. People in the martial arts community thinking is Wing Chun kind of useless in a street fight, and is this doing this, and just listening to a lot of people, it really people say, oh, his techniques are wrong and all that, but it's like, dude, you're getting punches. You're getting like hits with a. You're getting hits with a barrage of punches. Yet you act like you can see the situation going on. Like, oh, he's gonna punch me to the side, right? I'm gonna block my hand. I'm gonna block my hand, or block my head, or do something, and do this. They're like, no, that dude is throwing a barrage of punches. You can't see it coming, dude. You gotta think fast. That's
right?
why Yeah, that's why a lot of martial artists are really like, they're really taken out for it. And they feel offended too for getting called out. But Bruce Lee did the same thing. Look at him. He became famous. You know, he
Exactly.
he didn't yeah, he didn't call out the Chinese, but he called out, the Japanese, all Asians, because what we discussed like a couple months ago was, just because there are styles, no thing as style. Styles are crystallization. I feel like Xu Xiaodong had that way too, of saying, just because you guys are mad at me, I mean, does your like fighting style work? If it doesn't, then don't use that like BS saying, oh, it does work. So there's no point of improving that your style is better and your style is um easy to to be in a street fight. And at the same time, if it's not Shu Xiaodong, it's someone else who's much better, who's much stronger. You know, like in a sense, like those movies, those Chinese movies where kung fu is going against karate. And you see that at a literal sense that during the beginning, karate stands up the most because karate is more people. I think some people they think karate is more efficient than Chinese martial arts. Because karate is more stand up. It's more. It's based on power. It's based on this. But at the same time, Chinese martial arts they have different ways um of utilizing attacks and all that stuff. So, it's like what Xu Xiaodong is. Xu Xiaodong is a mixed martial artist. he uses martial arts from different, mixed martial arts has different pinpoints of, of different martial arts, coming from kung fu, coming from karate, judo, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, all those martial arts, and that's why Shu Xiaodong has that Bruce Lee aspect. It's because Bruce Lee, at the same time, Bruce Lee is known as the father of mixed martial arts, and Shu Xiaodong is a martial art, is a mixed martial artist. He is an MMA fighter, a UFC. If he wanted to be a UFC fighter, he could be one if he wanted to. So him challenging the community is basically like how Bruce Lee was challenged by the community long before Shu Xiaodong has. So that's why these things, you know and someone in 30 years is going to be the same as Shu Xiaodong, challenging the martial arts community and basically um doing things where he be like, oh, you um stuff is all this stuff is, you doing this, if I'm gonna give you a fight, so yeah.
Yeah, and like you said something about how he about how his fight with a Wing Chun master basically showed how how Wing had got people questioning about Wing Chun and stuff like that. So uh, that's
Hmm.
that's one of the things that got me thinking. Like it got me thinking about the flaws of Wing Chun because you saw how Chu threw a barrage of punches and stuff like that, and there's really no way for him to for the Wing Chun guy to pretty much block or parry, like do all these flashy combos against all those barrages of punches. Like there's just no way.
Hmm.
Like it happens too fast. Like I remember sparring a boxer as a Wing Chun guy, um, and I thought I could do it. Like I thought, like oh yeah, piece of cake. I felt like Wing Chun was the superior style because all these Wing Chun guys are telling me it was simple, efficient, and bragging about how it was all this and that. But when it came down to
Hmm.
it, like the moment that he started, like the boxer started, you know, swinging all of these punches, like I feel like I could barely see them coming, like back then, like
Yup.
I they were just so fast. And the thing about it was that they were like I thought I was supposed to be the faster guy, but no, like Boxer was much faster,
Mm-mm.
and the thing about it was that his strikes were simple too. So so I was like, dang, like I felt lied to, like honestly, like and also um
Hmm.
and also like okay, so there's this technique in Wing Chun called it's called the Tan Sao and
Oh, yup.
because you know how they do, you know how they demonstrate where I've seen some people demonstrate it where they have one hand, they have one arm um doing a knife hand, it's like a knife hand chop, a downward knife hand chop to deflect the incoming attack, and then they had
Oh, yup.
and then they're doing the upward knife hand chop to I guess is to strike the neck at the same time, but
Hmm.
um, and then they do this other, or sometimes they'll do another variation where they pivot and They do the it's like an they hold the they hold their palm in an upward position and they to deflect the incoming blow. Um,
Hmm.
so I think I tried. I don't remember if I tried that um in when I was actually sparring. If I did, but if I did, I think I vaguely remember it. Or if I did, the guy like his he started off with I think it was a fake jab or a jab, and he came in and then he switched to a hook punch, and that just pretty much like it was so fast that it actually reached me before while I was pivoting. Like I had no time.
Dang.
Yeah, I had no time to pivot and actually deflect the blow because it's coming at an angle where you just don't expect it in Wing Chun. And Wing Chun doesn't even cover
Hmm.
it. Like it does not cover. Like I said this before. Like it does not cover um curved attacks. Like attacks coming outside of a straight line. The only time Tan Sao would work is if you're going against someone who's only using like straight punches or straight strikes, strikes that are
Yup.
coming at a straight line and they're not fast like a boxer's. That's the only time
Hmm.
that's the only time you can pretty much deflect and do whatever, but against the boxer it's completely different. Like I've seen one demo where this Wing Chun guy like he demonstrated why boxing I mean why Wing Chun can't cover uh boxing attacks, and he tried doing the Tan Sao slowly against the boxing hook, and the boxing hook made contact to his head. Like
Yup.
even though he pivoted and did the Tan Sao right, it still bypassed his guard. So
Oh yeah.
and
You know.
don't even get me started on Shu Xiaodong bobbing and weaving and doing all this boxing head movement stuff. Like I was just did
Oh
you
my God.
did you see how the Wing Chun guy he tried throwing a straight he tried deflecting a punch he tried chain punching, right? I think that's what it was. He tried chain punching
Eh, Yeah.
and
Yup.
then Shu Xiaodong he just moved out of the way with a boxing head move, and then followed up with combos and stuff like.
That
Oh man,
that Wing Chun guy. That I don't know what was up in his mind. I don't know why he would go for straight like chain punches. Like I understand chain punches are basically the center of, throw. If your opponent could take a punch, why can't he take another? I understand that, but at the same time, like really, you're throwing a chain punch to a MMA fighter. I mean, I understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to get his opponent down, but at the same time, like the funny thing that got me was when he was like throwing all his punches, and yes, yeah, like what I said earlier, and just moving, and then he's moving his head side by side, like, huh, like I'm giving you free hits right now. Try to hit me as best as you can. Straight at it with the Wing Chun master. So
sound
I
got
feel like Shusha, if if the
sound
hmm?
got cut off a little bit.
so oh no no okay, so basically, like what I said, like is I understand like Shu Xiaodong is doing all his stuff, and yet the Wing Chun master is throwing these chain punches. Like I understand chain punches do work, but you have to give it time for it to work. You can't just go through with it like and expect to succeed with the chain punches. No, you need to give it more time, more flexibility for it to like get through. Because when I tried that with my when me and my brother we fought and I did that with my brother, he's able to get out of the way and throw a hook before I even got a chance to raise my hand up and deflect it. And if I said this to a Wing Chun master, he would be like, "Oh, that's simple, that's easy." But it's like, no, you're in a situation where you're fighting for your life. This is not fighting for a competition. This is not fighting to see to see if you're good or not. No, you're fighting for your life. You're basically, putting your life on the line and just you're letting yourself get hit. So there is no point to say, oh, um, it's all good and all that stuff. No, it's not. Like, you're putting yourself at risk. You're gonna get injured, and you need to be ready you know, of what's gonna happen because maybe your opponent is much faster or he's much stronger. And if you're gonna use Wing Chun or any martial art that make sure that you have a straight balance. A person that's stronger than you and much faster than you can know that, oh, I'm gonna use grappling moves, and those grapplings are gonna be much tougher, and I'm gonna grab you by the leg because Wing Chun, like what we talked about, Wing Chun, your feet have to be kind of close together in order to attack your opponent. That's kind of wrong, and that's why Jeet Kune Do is far superior because you can know your feet are apart, so there's no way for someone to grapple you. I mean, it's there are ways. It's not impossible. There is possible to grapple, but Jeet Kune Do is going to be much harder to grapple than Wing Chun because Wing Chun your feet are together, and you have to quick think yourself to take out that grappler. If you can't outthink the grappler, you're possibly done for. So that's why a lot of what Shu Xiaodong is doing is just basically, you know, he's fighting a way to defeat the Wing Chun master. He did, but since they have sympathy for Shu Xiaodong, they apparently say it was a tie, even though Shu Xiaodong was like not bleeding and the Wing Chun master was bleeding. So
That had me riled up. I'm like, how the heck is it a tie? We clearly saw who won. Oh my goodness! Like,
yeah, that Wing Chun master got pushed around like a rag doll, dude.
got demolished. Like he just. I think he got slammed to the ground. At right after
Oh heck yeah, he did.
it was wow, that was just embarrassing, honestly. But
Mm-hmm.
the only I will say though that the only thing um I think the downside to Shu Xiaodong was that he talked about, he says all this stuff like he was, you know uh about how he was gonna challenge, like it's like he was trying to expose all these martial arts and stuff, and until he came across the Muay Thai fighters. I don't know if you saw that fight, or that
Oh,
sparring
oh
session
yeah.
rather.
Yep.
He was talking
Damn.
junk about Muay Thai, um, and he agreed to fight those to spar with those Muay Thai fighters at a gym, and so they sparred, and Shu he just lost, like he lost,
Yeah,
like
because Muay Thai is much aggressive. So I don't know what he was thinking.
I think he I think he I think he how does the saying go? He bit off more than he could chew. He
Yeah, yeah,
yeah
I
he
agree.
he his he made a grave mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then but here's the thing though. Instead of owning up to it, he just said, um, "Oh well, the Muay Thai fighters were going too, they were sparring too hard, or they were trying to hurt me, or oh
What?
yeah,
What?
yeah, that's what he said.
What? Really?
Yeah, that's what he said. Like
Oh my!
I can show you the
Oh my
video of it.
gosh! That really? I thought I had mad respect for him, and now losing. You know? Oh my gosh! This dude.
He was basically making excuses for why he lost. Like, oh, he was saying how he was talking about, oh, um, it was just that I didn't have something along the lines of like, oh, I didn't have enough sleep that day, or oh, I wasn't eating right, or yeah,
What? Oh my gosh!
yeah, he got kicked, he got kneed, he just got pummeled, like he got kneed. He took thigh kicks to the thighs and shins, I think, and roundhouse kicks to the ribs and stuff. Like he you know,
Yeah.
just got ate up. But I'm like, that was sad, but it's like it's kind of ironic, like how he made all these guys like basically humiliate them and make them come up with all these excuses for why they lost, but when it came time for his defeat, you know, he
He
did.
doesn't admit it.
Yeah, it's like, come on, like you lost, like just admit that that what just admit that what you said about Muay Thai was wrong, and you know, just accept
I
it. And
I just I just lost. I almost lost a large amount of respect for him. So I was like, he's lucky. Cause I still have respect for him, but right after you said that, I was like, shoot, I'm gonna kind of lose respect for him, cause he shouldn't just take it like a man and be like, oh, you lost. And I understand it sounds hypocritical to say, but at the same time, it's like you lost. Everyone saw it, so you can't blame people for not seeing you lose. And if he's not gonna take it seriously, it's like you basically lost. You can't take that back. Because if he won, he would have told the Muay Thai fighters to like own up to it. But then, yeah, he's not owning up to it. So that kind of threw me off, and that kind of showed me like, I lost my respect. So it's if you're gonna tell people to own it up, and yet you're not gonna own it up, then there's something wrong with him. So oh no, it's just after hearing what you told me, I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, he doesn't own up to it. Then, oh well, he's 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 not as much as the other people now, so there's no point.
yeah, and that
Mm.
brings me to my next point that I wanted to talk about in Chinese culture. It's like where it feels like uh, it feels like nobody really wants to own up to their mistakes. Like it feels like they're all um, if somebody like Chu Xiadong makes a mistake, it's like they're all quiet about it. Like they don't want to say anything. Like or
Yeah.
they just don't want to look bad, and they don't want to get a bad reputation. So they just try to do whatever they can to avoid looking bad. And
Hmm.
and so do you have anything else you want to add to that topic before we move on to um
As
Something
a
different?
no, I don't think so. I mean, yeah, we should move on because yeah, like just the last thing, like yeah, like what I was just saying, like Xiadong, I think he's a good fighter, you know. And there was he had his first MMA fight and he won that one, so I give him credit for that. And you know, for him to be really hypocritical and to really call out more Thai fighters, that's a hard thing to do because you're an MMA fighter. MMA has some Muay Thai elements, so why don't you use that against a Muay Thai fighter? But I can see that Xu Xiaodong is he's mostly a brawler. You know, he brawls and then he grapples because most of his time he's just throwing his enemies around. You know, because he's a big dude. I see his fatigue. His fatigue. He's like big. He's built, Tonka tough. You know, but at the same time, a much faster and much strategized opponent can really take him out without any effort. So yeah, that's what I have to say to that.
Yeah, he's. I will admit that Muay Thai has its strong points because
Mhm.
like I like some of the kicks, like I like the some of the roundhouse kicks and stuff, and thigh kicks. Um, kicks that come in different angles, like I like those. And I also like uh how it uses all of your eight limbs. You know, like it uses
Mhm.
the elbows, the fists, the knees, legs, all that stuff. So and not a lot, you know, not a
Yep.
lot of styles, not a lot of styles. Like very few styles uh are that what's the word? Uh, very few styles have that many weapons in use in
Mhm.
combat. Like so, um, uh, while Muay Thai has its flaws, like any style does, like
Mhm.
I feel like the criticisms that Shu had towards them, I feel like he was he probably didn't do his research or something.
Yep.
but uh but yeah, that's all I had to say for that topic.
Mhm.
Um Next topic I just wanted to talk about like basically different Asian cultures, like what you like about uh like say the Chinese culture, Japanese culture, like as far as food, people, you know, beliefs, all the problems, stuff like that, like just 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 in general. Like
Uh, um, I mean, I do like, you know, I'm not picky on my cultures, but you know, there are a lot of cultures to choose from and to like. You know, there are many cultures have their dislikes, their likes. So, you know, like pros and cons. So, um, you know, a lot of Asian communities, I think, Asian cultures, because I'm a fond of Chinese, Japanese, my own Asian culture, which are the Hmong people, uh, um, and you know, Koreans. Because since Koreans, Japanese, Chinese, they're the most. These three are like the most popular. You know, Mongolians. Yeah, and there are a lot of Asians out there too. So, but yeah, like the food. Mostly, if I relate to most Asians, are the food, because each Asian country has its own unique food that they utilize and it's one way to show culture, like, oh, this is what, you know, food, you know, this is what type of food that these people eat. And, you know, you'll just have to accept the fact that that's just what they eat, and that's what they have. So you can't really complain saying you don't you can not like the food, but you gotta try it at least once just to get a sense of how it is. So yeah, it's I feel like food connects people, people wise, communities and all that stuff. I'm a big fondness of communities, such as Japan. Japan has a lot of, it's more, I won't say it's more diverse, but it's filled with people, from Tokyo to Osaka to Hiroshima to, to Kyoto and all those places, to China, from Hong Kong, Shanghai, to Guangzhou, and all those other places, to your southeast place, and so that there are a lot of people, there are a lot of different cultures, different varieties of people that live in those places. So yeah.
Right, and I feel like food is probably the best way to connect with a culture, like, because
Mhm.
I feel like there's really no other way to connect with a culture that's as good as, say, as food, because um I'm a like I love different kinds of Asian food. Like I love Chinese food, Japanese food, a whole bunch of food. And I feel like I've tried a bunch of Chinese food, and it's just like I'm actually surprised at how diverse it is. Like it's it's actually way more diverse in China than it is in America. Like I was surprised they eat everything in China. Like they eat shrimp,
Mhm.
sharks, bears, cows, um chicken, pork,
Yeah,
dude,
dude.
the- just the list is endless. Like it's just unbelievable how they feel. Like I forgot there's a saying that said it said everything under the sun is I can't remember how it goes, but it's basically saying how everything was is pretty much edible, and
Yep.
it's true because according to science, like anything pretty much anything that has protein in it is good for you. You can eat it,
Mhm.
and uh, and it's just crazy how they can come up with all these dishes like with salamanders and bats and stuff, and that's
Yeah,
crazy.
dude.
That is just insane. And one thing that I like about the that I love about Asian food is how they use fresh food. They use fresh meat. Like uh I've learned about Japanese food, for example. Like they the chefs actually study the meat before they decide to buy it and cook it.
Mhm.
It has to be fresh. It has to be of a certain. It has to smell a certain way. I think it has to be a certain type of meat. 'Cause basically all these standards that the meat has to have in order for for them to actually cook it in the best way they can, and it's far different from how people here in America do things. Like it's just like here they just chop it up. They chop the meat up into fillets and stuff, and then they freeze it, and stuff, and it doesn't taste the same. Like it just doesn't look the same, and I'm pretty sure it's not even of the same quality as say in Japan or China, like
Mhm.
because the meat there is and the meat in America is I'm pretty sure like in it's not fresh in your local grocery store. Like it's
No.
it's because in America I feel like the mindset is a lot different. Like they're all about Americans, they're all about preserving food and it feels like they have like this kind of like this how do I say this kind of survival mentality where they want to be you know they want to be economical with their food and stuff and they don't actually like I feel like they eating stuff like eyes and stuff like all that stuff it's
Yeah.
just something that you just don't do and
Mhm.
you know because it's nasty or something like that but it's like but people in Asian countries they don't see it that way like uh they see it as this is
Food.
yeah food and and if you don't eat it then you're gonna starve you know and or if you don't
Ah.
if you don't eat it you're wasting food and which I agree with like you I mean you pretty much are
Mhm.
like you are wasting and not to mention like how um when food is cooked whole like you know like how they'll show these dishes where the fish is like pretty much cooked whole like with no you know with, like they don't cut anything like you can just they have the eyes on it everything like it looks
Oh, yep.
presentable you know looks good
Mhm.
and it's yeah like you just don't get the same you just don't get the same feel with fillets or stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And plus, yeah, like I agree with what you said. Like, Americans, they're some stuff are fresh, but it's not as fresh as Asians, like Chinese and Japanese. Because Japanese, from what I've learned from Japanese culture, is that Japanese and Koreans they have much fresher food. Like there's this food called sanakji, which basically means live octopus, and that's the freshest food you can never get. It's basically still alive, the nerves, all the nerves, and a lot of people have died from eating live octopus. And I'm not joking. This is one of my. I want to try that dish before I die. It's like one of my bucket list things I have to do. And I really want to go to Japan or Korea. I'm really focused a sense of I want to go try this and I want to go see different places. I want to go to, to Tokyo or to Seoul and basically try all this. And I think Japan has the most expensive meat, which is Wagyu or Kobe. And Kobe is really expensive, like, because those cattle are bred for 1,000 years, and those cows are basically they've been taken care of for a long time, so their meat is much more tender. It's much more fatty, and it's really good. And Wagyu or Kobe is really really expensive and high on the market. So that's why Japan has the most expensive meat, even for Americans. Like if an American restaurant wanted Kobe, they have to call and order from a Japanese company to get Kobe beef. And Kobe is not light, like cheap light. It's really expensive. It's really hard to get Kobe. So I feel like not just Chinese and Japanese, but other Asian countries, they do have their unique sets on food and how to, really, you know, uh, set a meal because they have their own ways, we have our own ways. Everybody's different, and no one is better than the other. So yeah.
Right, and as far as like food like Kobe, like stuff like that, like um um there's really like it's very hard to get uh fresh food. Like I feel um like the only way for me to get fresh food, like probably the freshest seafood is by going to the local Asian market. Like other than that, like you can't find it anywhere else. You can't find it
Mhm.
say Walmart or anything like that um because for various reasons like the price and stuff. So it's crazy.
Mhm.
And and you're right on the different on the different cultures like Japanese culture. Like I'm actually shocked at the different ways that that they prepare food. Like I don't know if you
Mhm.
saw that video I showed you of that uh that sushi chef who he was basically showing how he makes sushi, and he chooses the meat, then he blends it all together and stuff, and he cuts up he cuts the meat so finely and everything, and uses a whole
Mhm.
variety of stuff, and uh and it just looks like it just I was just mind blown. Like I was like, wow. Like I think he had what was it, octopus sushi with
Oh, okay.
yeah, that was unique. I
Mhm.
can't I can't remember what he put on it, but it was just impressive. And like and I think like you'd have to have a huge amount of skill to do that stuff. And
Yeah.
and because like I think my family they tried I think some members of my family they tried to make sushi for the first time, and it did not look good at all. Like they failed miserably at doing it. Like they tried forming the sushi, like I think without seaweed,
Mhm.
and it just ended up looking like a total mess. Like it was just it was just like wow. Like it was embarrassing. I mean, at least they tried. So,
Hey,
but
you can't blame them. So.
yeah, but that just goes to show how elaborate Japanese culture is, and how hard it is to just how artistic it is, and how hard it is to do anything that has to do with Japanese culture. It takes a huge amount of skill, like
Mhm.
from dancing to making music to making food, making anything. Like I tried making I tried doing origami, and that in
Mhm.
itself was very hard to do. Like I couldn't as a kid I couldn't even do it. Or like
Yeah. Yeah. It's really hard to learn and to adapt to these Asian cultures, But it takes time, and once we get it, it's fairly easy.
Yeah, and I was really like I thought it was gonna be easy, like oh just just fold paper into the shapes of animals and stuff. Like I thought it's no big deal, but when I actually tried it, like I didn't have any idea like how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And you didn't have to cut any like I think what really surprised me is how you didn't even have to cut the paper, like you just like fold it into just the shape of an animal or something like that. It was just crazy.
Mhm. Yep.
And one food that I would like to see more of though is Filipino food because I feel like Filipino food is not that represented in America. Like it's
Mhm.
there's rarely any Filipino restaurants here. Like there's rarely any mention of people wanting to try Filipino food. Like most people they say they want to try like you know Chinese or Japanese or Korean food, but it's like
Mhm.
hardly anybody talks talks about wanting to try Filipino food. And I mean
Yep.
I've cooked some Filipino food in my house and it tasted pretty good, honestly. Like
Mm.
it tasted it was like a mix of Chinese food and mixed with like Mexican food
Okay.
mixed with something else. Like
Oh, dang. Okay.
yeah, it was really unique. Like
Mhm.
they had something called it was and I don't I okay I might butcher the name, but here goes. Like it's called Bihan. I think it's called Bihan Guisado. That's what it's called.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it had like it basically had these I think they had stir fry noodles with uh with shrimp and soy sauce, like
Dang.
garlic, onions, mixed vegetables, all these ingredients. They put it together and made that dish, and I was like, wow, like yeah. And then they
Dang.
have a bunch of other dishes too, like pork lechon, where where they basically roast a whole pig. They cut the pig open and they put a bunch of spices inside of it, like green onions, um, garlic, stuff like that, and um, whole bunch of whole bunch of stuff. And then they seal it up again, and then
Hmm.
they roast it, like you know. I mean, they put all the
Oh,
spices.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, they put all the spices inside the pig before they cook it, and then after they roast it, then then all that aroma, all that flavor, like it's it comes out once you open up the pig again.
Mhm.
So I thought it was pretty unique. Uh, yeah, I could talk. Wow, I could talk all day about this.
Dude, it's good to talk about like a lot about Asian culture, mostly the food, because like what I said earlier, the food is what connects people to, come out and really, it's it's the reason why a lot of Asian cuisines are in fact delicacies. Like sushi for once, Ever since sushi was introduced, like Americans like sushi, a lot of people like sushi because of its variety, and Chinese food is one that gets people a lot, and that's the reason why like Chinese food is basically put out there like kung pao chicken or orange chicken or just even though those aren't authentic food, you have dumplings, you have lo mein, yao mein, what was it, fried rice and all that stuff. And even though, yeah, like what I said, like even though those aren't authentic Chinese, they came from an authentic dish that the Chinese used to make it, and that's what really sets apart from Asian cuisine is the food. So,
Yeah, right. And also I think I also like the I tried um there's this one dish I tried from from an Asian country that nobody has heard. Like, not many people have tried the food. Like, it was from Myanmar. It's called um, I can't I can't pronounce it, but like, I think it was called a mohinga. I think that's what it's called. It was
okay.
it was it was it's like this noodle soup that you have for breakfast. Um,
Oh,
yeah, yeah, it's where it has all these sweet, strong um flavors and that were just like it had ginger in it, a whole bunch of stuff and I think when I
uh-huh,
tried it I was like, wow, this like so delicious. Like it feels like I mean at first like they said it was for breakfast. And I didn't understand like why why they would have it for breakfast until I actually tried it. Like I was like, wow, this tastes really sweet. So
mhm.
that's why they said that it's for breakfast. For a breakfast meal because of that reason. So
Oh, yep.
it all makes sense now. Um, and I also like how um a lot of Asian cultures like they have they talk a lot about they talk a lot about Buddhism, even though I'm not a Buddhist, you know, I don't I don't agree with absolutely I don't agree with everything that Buddhism teaches, but some of the stuff they teach is really good. Some a lot of that stuff like it actually martial arts actually incorporates um Buddhism like Bruce Lee he talked about the mind of no mind,
Oh, yep.
you know, where you basically like you train your techniques to a point where you don't have to think about it, you can just do it
Mhm.
and you automatically do all the work and stuff and it focuses on concentration and stuff like that and a whole bunch of stuff. Like what do you think about the traditional dances in like China, like in Asian cultures like Chinese, Japanese, um Thai?
Um. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Um. And for what I think of them is, it's very cultural. They take it seriously, and I do see that as, as a way to, show culture, because that's something that it's a culture base. It's based on what they've been doing for their lives, and what they've been what has impacted them through life. Through dance, through food, through people, through clothing, uh, like the different dance, and a lot of history behind those as well. Like Chinese, they put on like operas, and that shows like back then China, how the people, they do these inaccurate operas where it talks. It's like those shows of historical fiction of, oh, this is how it was, this is how this is how it was used to be, and all this. And this shows, yeah, this shows that um, it's there to be put for fun. It's not there to harass anybody and all that. Including Japanese, they put on these theaters, these operas as well, and that kind of shows accuracy. And with the Japanese, you have the geishas. The geishas, they're dancers, and they show a lot of um a lot of Japanese culture. So that's one thing. Talking about other cultures, respectively, like the Thai, Laotian, Hmong. They have their own different dances. So yeah.
It's crazy. I've seen a bunch of just absolutely mind blowing Chinese dances and everything. Like a bunch of just um mind blowing Asian dances. Like I don't know if you saw that. If you saw there's one dance called I think it was called the thousand hand dance or something like that. I can't remember the name of it, but it was just straight up impressive. Like wow, it was. I think it was originally based on India. Like a lot of the stuff, like even martial arts, like it has roots in India, and like some of the dances in say Indonesia and Thailand, uh, those actually came from those were inspired from Indian dances, and before they came up with their own form of dance and put it out there. But the stuff they do was just impressive. Like like I saw some dances from some Thai dances and Indonesian dances, and I was impressed by how they could tell a story just with their arms and the way they move uh the way they move their bodies and like around and stuff like that. And I was just like wow, like they didn't even need to do anything spectacular like like do these jumping jacks or something like that, or like these flying gymnastics or anything like that, or they get, just by moving their fingers, like it's it felt like I don't know how to describe it, but like it felt like they were just it felt like they bended their hand, it looked like they were just bended their hands up and fingers in such a graceful position, but it looked it looked kind of weird, like I don't know, like it felt like I was like, wow, like how did they not break their hands doing all that stuff? Crazy.
Let me shed in some Hmong history with you,
All right.
and basically, um, Hmong people, we came from what's now known as China, and during that era, there was a lot of things going on. But you can understand that when you learn about Chinese culture or Hmong culture, you learn that we came from a place where a lot of people didn't respect us for what we were. We were once the dominant. We were once the dominant like race. In China, and we were dominating, but until the Chinese grew in power, they overthrew the Hmong people, and they took over. But you can still find a lot of Hmong culture um, through China. Because they're not just Hmong Chinese people, but there's Hmong French, there's Hmong Vietnamese, Hmong Thai, Hmong Laotian. Hmong people are everywhere. So there's basically a diverse way, and we have, you know, Laotians and Thai people. They have shamanism. Hmong people, we just adapted to that. Just the same as how Christianity came up. Hmong people, they really adapted to Christianity, and a majority of Hmong people are not the majority, but like I think 25% of the population of the Hmong people are Christians, and so that's why you see a lot of Christian out there. You see a lot of things going on, and yeah, that's like another way or another example of adapting, like how the Asian people they adapted stuff. Same with China, same with Japan. Japan took a lot of things from China, and even though their language is much different, is much complex, they still took some stuff from China and really just changed it like it's their own. And that's one thing of like adapting, like how you said, like the Thai, they all that dances and all that stuff is expired in by India, and a lot of things you know um are expired. So that's a good thing to really talk about. And yeah, it's shocking to hear like different variety of histories that has been going on for a long time. So
Right. And it's crazy how even in Japanese in the Japanese language they have different I think they have different forms of writing the character.
hmm
Like they have kanji and then they have something else. Like it's another set. I don't know. And then they have I think in sumo wrestling they even have like yet another form of writing Japanese characters. Um,
hmm
I don't remember all the details, but I'm just fascinated. Wow, like, and the characters com they look complex too. Like you
hmm
have to like go to school to learn Japanese and stuff, and and uh and I was just like wow, like even even in China, like it's very diverse. Of course, Mandarin is the national language, but there's actually more languages like to it. Like that, like there's Cantonese, there's just a whole bunch of languages that I can't even remember all of them right now at the top of my head.
Yup.
But yeah, that's a myth that people have. I think that's one of the misconceptions people have about China is that everybody speaks one language and that's Chinese, and it's like, no, it's
No, 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 no.
it's way more diverse than that. It's
Mhm.
like I'm shocked at how large the Chinese um I'm shocked at how large the Chinese culture is. Ever since ancient, if you study ancient Chinese history, like you find that China did all these things and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
they it's just it's just incredible.
Yeah.
All the buildings they made, all the food that they made, the discoveries they made, you know, all that stuff is
Mhm.
like wow. Like they pretty much built like uh an empire, like this grand empire from pretty much all that stuff. So wow.
Yeah, I agree too. Like it's it's just something that Chinese people have been doing for a long time, and yeah, if you read about it too, like a lot of things, even before and during when the Mongols took over, it was one thing that got like the Chinese people like stirred up about everything, and that's just how it was, back then. Just really having that fact of um, just the Mongols taking over, a lot of things going on at that time, and basically having a lot of things, occupied too, with the Great Wall and all that stuff, and how a lot of things are going on in the world. So yeah,
Yeah. So you got anything else you wanted to add to this or no?
no, I'm done.
Yeah, same here. I ran out of ideas.
Yeah,
Okay,
uh,
so yeah, so that pretty much wraps this up. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, comment, share this. I'll see you later.